Welcome back, my dear students. Good morning, everyone. Let us continue the chapter called electromagnetic induction. In this session, we are going to finish this chapter, electromagnetic induction. Right? Hardly it takes the next 4 classes to finish this, including the numericals. In this electromagnetic induction, in today's class, we are going to discuss about induced electric field. What is this? Induced electric field. Look at here. We know already a changing magnetic field will produce induced electric field. And the reverse is also true. What is the reverse? A change in electric field can also produce magnetic field. The reverse is also true. But now our focus is on this. A changing magnetic field will produce induced electric field. How it produce? What are the applications related to the induced electric field? All the things we are going to discuss now. Look at here, my dear students. Let me say a circular coil which is placed in a magnetic field where the field lines are perpendicular to the plane of the coil. Field lines are perpendicular to the plane of the coil, and the radius of the coil is capital R, right? Now, this is the magnetic field which is variable. This is the magnetic field which is variable. For example, this magnetic field is B naught into T. What is B naught into T? As the time increases, you can see the magnetic field is increasing. As the time is increasing, the magnetic field is increasing. Alright? Now, listen carefully. We already know that this magnetic field is changing. Remember, I am writing you here neatly. Change in a magnetic field will change the flux linked with a coil. Yes or no? At some particular magnetic field, the flux linked with the coil is different. As the time is increasing, the flux linked with the coil is completely different. It is keep on changing. When there is a magnetic flux change linked with the coil, so there will be a production of induced EMF. Yes or no? There will be producing of induced EMF. This is induced EMF. Okay. Battery EMF is a source of electric field. See here, this induced EMF is the source for this induced electric field, and from that induced electric field, so there is an induced current is also produced, and this induced current direction we could find by using Lenz's law, my dear students. So by using Lenz's law, the current which is induced current direction we could find by using Lenz's law. Alright, so let us find the direction of induced current in this case. Right? It's so simple here. Magnetic field lines are moving into the plane and the magnetic field is increasing. So when the flux linked this coil is increasing, the induced EMF or the induced current will try to oppose the change, right? Will try to oppose the change. So when the induced current is trying to oppose the change of the flux, when the flux linked with the coil is into the plane, so this according to the Lenz's law, opposite direction. When the magnetic field lines are increasing in the inward direction, outward direction, there is a magnetic field produced. That's called induced magnetic field, right? So outward direction, the magnetic field lines, then definitely the induced current direction is anti-clockwise. Yes or no? Then the net flux linked with the coil will decrease. Understand? Clear? So now the induced current direction is anti-clockwise. Induced current direction is anti-clockwise. Alright. Now, look at here. I am going to tell you the relation between induced electric field and EMF. Right? Induced electric field and EMF. Look at here. EMF is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. See, there is a derivation is also present for this. It's not required now. Just try to remember this as a formula. E is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. So this is the relation between. So what is this? Relation between EMF, which is induced EMF, and induced electric field. Okay, induced EMF and induced electric field. And we know already this EMF is equal to minus d phi by dt, which is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. From here you can write one more thing. My dear students. Listen to me carefully. So from here, what you can write? So minus d by dt of BA. Okay? Clear? So minus d by dt of BA. Minus d by dt of BA, which is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. Because magnetic flux is B into A into cos theta. When we take the maximum flux, cos theta will be cos 0 degrees. Cos 0 degrees is 1. Okay. Now from here, so when area of the ring, area of the coil is constant. Understand? So when you take area A here, so this is minus. Then d by dt of B, which is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. Alright? Go on, you can solve. This is how you can solve the induced electric field concept. And again, I'll tell you one more thing. Look at here, my dear children. From here, if you want to continue, the area, look at here, the area of the ring, which is pi r square, look at here. So, which is minus pi r square into d by dt of B. Here, B we have taken, which is B naught into T. In every case, it may not be the situation, but in this case, B naught into T. So, d by dt of B naught into T, which is equal to here, electric field associated with this. So, at this instant, electric field, at this instant electric field, at this instant electric field, at this instant electric field will be same. Okay. So now it is E integral surface integral dl bar. So now this we can write minus pi r square into d by dt of B naught into T. It's B naught, which is equal to E into surface integral of dl bar. So this is one dl bar, this is another dl bar, another dl bar. Integration of all these things is equal to circumference of the circular ring. Yes or no? So that circumference of the circular ring will be 2 pi r. Okay. Now here we can find E value from here. E value is equal to E value is equal to minus pi r square B naught divided by 2 pi r, 1 r, pi. So what is that? Minus B naught into r divided by 2. So this is what the electric field, induced electric field associated in this case. Induced electric field associated with this case. Now, on the surface of the ring it is. Understand? It is on the surface of the ring. Because r is the radius of the ring. Now let us take two different cases, my dear students, here. At a distance small r, which is less than r, what is the induced electric field? What is the induced electric field? And at a distance small r, which is greater than capital R, what is the induced electric field, my dear children? You understand the question? What is the induced electric field at a distance of small r, which is lesser than capital R? So that means our point of consideration is inside this circle. The point of consideration is here. Look at here. So this is our point of consideration. So means this is the circumference you need to consider. Alright. Now, in this case, if you apply the topic, if you apply the concept called minus d phi by dt is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. So let us apply that here. Minus d by dt of this one, minus d by dt of BA, which is equal to E into surface integral dl bar. So this can be written as, right? So this can be written as this one. Minus A, area is area of this one. Okay, area of this considered circular ring. So minus pi small r square into, so you know, minus dB by dt. So that is our B is B naught into T, right? Minus dB by dt is minus B naught. Okay. So this minus already is written here. So B naught, which is equal to E into integral dl. So it is 2 pi into small r. Alright, my dear students. Now minus pi r square, which is into B naught, is equal to E into 2 pi r. That is what the same I wrote. 1 pi cancel. One small r cancel. From here, E is equal to, carefully see, E is equal to minus B naught into small r divided by 2. Remember, my dear students, here. So, the induced electric field is directly proportional to small r. This is the application. When the point of consideration is inside the circular ring, induced electric field is directly proportional to R. That indicates from the center, induced electric field is increases when the small r value increases. From the center O, induced electric field increases and reach to the maximum value. On the surface, what is the value? So this is the value. Minus B naught into R by 2. Here, minus B naught into small r by 2. In the place of small r, if you keep capital R, so that is this answer. Understand? So this is on the surface. The value is on the surface. This is inside. From the inside, from the center of the circular ring, induced electric field keep on increases and reaches to the maximum. Let us talk about the second case. Now the point of consideration is somewhere here. Here, this is the point of consideration. Look at this interesting part. So this is small r now, second case. So the small r is this one. See, carefully see. This is the imaginary circular ring now, where magnetic field is only present this. Magnetic field is only present in this area. In this area, there is no magnetic field. Okay, whatever it may be, let us apply in this case this formula. Minus d by dt of BA, which is equal to E will come out as electric field is constant here, surface integral dl bar. Okay, so this you can apply minus A, which is A here. So area, magnetic flux here. Here's the important concept. Magnetic rate of change of magnetic field. So minus A. A is what? A is the area in which magnetic flux is linked. Magnetic flux is linked only in this area, which is minus pi r square into d by dt of B is B naught, because our B value is B naught into T, which is equal to E into, this is important now, integral dl bar. So this is important. What is this integral dl bar? So this is not having any connection with the magnetic flux linked with the coil. This is the complete circumference of the imaginary circular ring. So that is what E into surface integral dl bar. So this is 2 pi into small r. So 1 pi and pi cancel. So we get E is equal to, carefully see, E is equal to minus B naught into r square divided by 2r. From here, what you should understand, B naught is constant, r is constant, r is radius of the actual circle. Okay, so by 2 is constant and r is variable. So from this you should understand E, induced electric field, is inversely proportional to r. Inversely proportional to r. Inside the circular ring, induced current, induced electric field is directly proportional to r. Outside the circular ring, induced electric field is inversely proportional to small r. You got the point? Clear? That's it. So, from the radius r point, when we are moving out of the circular ring, induced electric field decreases. Induced electric field decreases. From the center, when you are moving towards the surface of the circular ring, induced electric field increases. See? Directly proportional, inversely proportional. And how the graph you could represent, carefully. See, this is small r, this is induced electric field. So this is the center of the circular ring. From the center to the surface, induced electric field is directly proportional to r. So this is the graph for directly proportional. So this is where small r is equal to capital R on the surface of the ring. So where E is directly proportional to small r, from the surface, as the r is increasing, induced electric field is decreases. So that is how it is decreasing, inversely proportional to r. This is the most important graph, right? So you can see this question in the previous NEET exam and previous CET exam even. What is the appropriate graph represents induced electric field and the distance from the center of the circular ring, which is kept in a magnetic field, which is variable magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of the coil. Alright, my dear students, let us discuss some more topics of this chapter now. Let's look at this question based on induced electric field. A magnetic field is directed into the pitch. Magnetic field is directed into the pitch. With the magnetic field 0.03 t square plus 1.4 Tesla. You keep the time values here. The magnetic field is varying and it is increasing. So that's called changing magnetic field is there. It's also called time varying magnetic field, where t is in seconds. See, this small t is in seconds. The field has a circular cross-sectional area of radius 2.5 centimeter. A circular cross-sectional area is there for a magnetic field of 2.5 centimeters. So let me draw the basic diagram for this question. So this is the circular magnetic field, which is not the uniform magnetic field. So here this is what time varying magnetic field, and the field lines are into the plane, and the plane of the coil is kept perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. Okay, and they have clearly mentioned the radius is capital R. Time varying magnetic field, so this is the magnetic field. What is the magnitude of the electric field? Because of the changing magnetic field, the electric field produced this induced electric field. Yes or no? The electric field produced this induced electric field, my dear students. Okay? Now, the question is to find the magnitude of that induced magnetic field, so induced electric field at some particular time. At time t is equal to 3 seconds and small r is equal to 0.02 meter. At this particular, what I can say, like at this particular point, we need to find induced electric field. Right? Let's see. This is small r is equal to 0.02 into 1 meter. 1 meter, it is equal to 100 centimeters. Alright. So this 0 cancel and this. So we have your r value is 2 meter. Small r value. Small r value 2 meter. Whereas here we can see 2.5 centimeter. This is 2.5 centimeter. We need to find out the induced electric field at a point only 2 meters. Look at here. At a point only 2 meters. So somewhere here. So this is 2 meter, which is your small r value. So this is the considered circumference of the circular ring. Imaginary circumference of the circular ring. So you know induced EMF is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. As we need to find induced electric field magnitude. Okay, so let's write. So this I can also write minus d phi by dt, which is equal to E into surface integral dl bar. This I can also write it as minus d by dt of b into a, which is equal to E into, so this is surface integral of dl bar. So this is what the dl bar we need to consider. So which is equal to 2 into pi into small r. Okay. So now let's write. So this area into minus a comes out because area of this circular coil, imaginary circular coil, is same, constant, into d by dt of b. What is b here? 0.03 t square plus 1.4, which is equal to E into 2 pi small r. Now this area. This is minus pi r square into d by dt of 0.03 t square. So this is 0.06 t plus d by dt of 1.4. It's 0 because d by dt of constant is 0. So which is equal to E into 2 pi r. Pi r cancel. Okay. Alright. Now this is E is equal to what I can write 0.06 t into r divided by 2. This is 0.06 into t. At 3 seconds we need the answer into small r. What is small r here? The small r value, they have got it in meters already. We are going to check the induced electric field in SI units. So r 0.02 meter. But we measured initially in centimeters because capital R is given in centimeter. So that it will be easy for us. See, this is centimeters, 2 centimeters. So that it is easy for us to find whether the point is inside this circular magnetic field are outside this circular magnetic field. Okay. So now 0.06 into 3 into small r. What is small r in SI unit? 0.02 divided by 2. Okay. So this I can also write it as, this is small r is 0.2. Okay. This is 0.03. Okay. 0.03 into 3. 3 3s are 9, 9 2s are 18. So 18 into, after point there are 2 decimals here, 2 digits here, and after point there are 2 digits here. So I can say it is 10 raised to minus 4 Newton per Coulomb. Okay, clear? So this is how we could find induced electric field concept. It is so simple. Only thing you should recollect this one. Induced EMF is equal to surface integral E bar dot dl bar. That's it. My dear students, now the concept is energy consideration. Energy consideration, which is a quantitative study. Which is a quantitative study. Here we are going to prove law of conservation of energy, my dear student. It's so simple. We are going to prove law of conservation of energy by using a motional EMF topic. See, we have already discussed about motional EMF. Alright, so let us use this topic and try to prove law of conservation of energy theory. Let's see here. There is a magnetic field where the field lines are moving into the plane. See, the magnetic field where the field lines are moving into the plane. There is a conducting rod of this shape which is placed here. We have proved motional EMF is equal to B into L into V from this experiment only. There is a conducting rod. This is a conducting frame and this is the conducting rod of length L, right? Which is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field with a velocity V in this case, right? With a velocity V perpendicular to the magnetic field, we are moving it. Then there is a flux change linked with the coil. As this is moving in this direction with T, there is a more flux linked with the coil. Then induced EMF will be produced. From there, induced current will be produced, and we have found the induced current direction in this case by using Fleming's right hand rule. Once again I am telling you, by using Fleming's right hand rule, in this coil we have found the direction of induced current. Yes sir? What is that? So this is the magnetic field lines, and the thumb need to point in the direction of motion of the conductor. And look at here, my dear students. So the induced current is moving upwards, right? So this is the direction of induced current, my dear students, induced current. And imagine this is the conducting frame is having a resistance R. The conducting frame is having a resistance R. So let me write here, R is a resistance of a conducting frame. Okay. And this we have already drawn in this way. Alright. So this is the EMF, which is motional EMF, and this is the resistance R. This is induced current is moving in this way. So from here, induced current is equal to E by R. Okay. So what is this E? B L V by R. That is the induced current direction, induced current magnitude. B is magnetic field, which is constant magnetic field. L is length of the conductor from here to here, effective length of the conductor. V is with what speed it is moving in this direction. R is resistance of this conducting frame or resistance of this coil, in which the magnetic flux change is linked. Alright. Now, here comes the actual topic called energy conservation, my dear children. Are you ready? Here, this V is constant. We are moving this rod with a constant velocity. Constant velocity means zero acceleration. Yes or no? Will you accept this? Zero acceleration means the net force acting on the rod will be zero. There are two forces acting on the rod. One force is external force, which is applied by us. We are moving the rod in this direction. On its own it will not move. Okay. So the rod is moving in this direction with some external force by us in this way. But net force acting on the rod must be zero, then only zero acceleration, then only it will move with a constant velocity. Clear? Then only it will move with a constant velocity. So that indicates the other side, there is a force acting on the wire, on the conducting rod, that is called magnetic force. Force on a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field. I hope you should recollect the topic by this time. Force on a current carrying wire placed in a magnetic field. So what is the magnetic force in this way? See, the magnetic force in this case will be equal to BIL sin theta. Sin theta is sin 90 degrees. Sin 90 is 1. So magnetic force acting on the rod is BIL. Net force need to be zero. So that means external force must be equal to magnetic force. So this magnetic force, I can write it is equal to the external force. So look at here, my dear children. The external force is equal to magnetic force. Its value is BIL. Alright. Clear? Now, here comes the very important topic. So if you want this magnetic force or external force in terms of resistance, let's substitute this I value here. B into I value will be BLV by R into L. Right? So let me write the magnetic force here is equal to B into I. I is BLV by R into the L. So it is B square L square V by R. That's a magnetic force, or the same is called external force. Okay? Clear? This is not our aim. Our aim is to prove law of conservation of energy. Energy neither be created nor be destroyed. Let's check here. Let's write an expression for mechanical power, my dear students. So power is equal to force into velocity. Mechanical power I am talking about. When I talk about mechanical power, so the external force I need to write. Power is equal to force into velocity, where the force need to be external force. Right? So this external force is equal to this B square L square, this into V, right? That is B square L square V by R. So this is equal to B square L square V square by R. That's a mechanical power. And the electric power also I can write, my dear children. Electric power which is equal to, listen to me carefully, electric power is equal to induced current passing through this circuit I square into R. Power is equal to I square into R, right? So what is the induced current value here? This one. I square will be a B square L square V square by R square into R, right? One R cancel, and the remaining is B square L square V square divided by R. Okay? Mechanical power is equal to electric power. Mechanical power is equal to electric power, my dear students. You can see B square L square V square by R, B square L square V square by R. You know how you got the scene? the concept of law of conservation of energy. According to the law of conservation of energy, so I'm writing very important statement here, you can see. So we know the power is equal to work done by time. Power is the rate of doing work. Power is equal to work done by time. If you carefully see, when the time is 1 second, that means per unit time, so the power is equal to work done, that is equal to energy. Alright. So power is equal to work done, that is equal to energy. So this energy is equal to this energy. Mechanical energy is equal to electrical energy. So mechanical energy is the motion of the conductor. Due to the motion of the conductor, there is an induced EMF is generated, and because of the mechanical energy only there is a electrical energy produced here. That's called law of conservation of energy. So a mechanical energy in this case is equal to electrical energy, my dear students. So that's what the law of conservation of energy is proved. And you can see the energy conservation, there is no loss of energy. That is the quantitative study with the values we have proved. With the value, if you know B, if you know L, if you know V, if you know R, just substitute the values, you get some joules. The energy is in terms of joules, you get it. So that energy will definitely equal to this mechanical energy. Alright? Clear? So that's it. So the energies are same. There is no loss of energy here. But you may get a question now. External force we are applying in this direction. Alright. How can you say that the magnetic force is acting in this direction? How can you say that the magnetic force is acting in this direction? Force on a current carrying wire placed in a magnetic field is the topic, and you could find the direction of the force on the conductor by using Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. Induced current in this direction we found by using right hand rule. So the force direction on the current carrying wire placed in a magnetic field we can find by using Fleming's left hand rule, right? So left hand rule, the forefinger is represented the direction of magnetic field, right? Middle finger represents the direction of positive charge. You get here, current direction. Automatically your thumb will be giving you the direction of magnetic force. Look at this. The force direction I have got in this way, right? Clear? That's it. Okay. So this is how the concept called energy conservation is discussed. Thank you so much. All the very best.